And hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. Alright, so today we are going to be talking about functions. Now, this form, it has an edit function and an button click me. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to just explain what a form is. We're just going to explain what a function is. So whenever you think of a function, think of a procedure. Think of this. It does something, and if you watched the previous video, which you preferably should if you want to know what's going on here, a procedure basically just does something for you. You tell it, hey, work out the VAT, and it will do the calculation for you, or gives a person a show message. Like we did this in the last video, and basically it just, as I explained in the last video, you can't assign this to anything. You can't go is name or is whatever goes to show message. And this is because it's a procedure. Same with beep. You cannot assign it to anything. It doesn't return a specific value. Last video I told you guys not to focus too much on that word. But now we will, because the difference between a procedure and a function is that whilst you cannot assign a procedure to a variable, you can assign a function to a variable. For example, we can go up here and go variable is name becomes string, or not becomes string, it just is a string, and we can go is name becomes input box, and whatever is put inside of this input box. This input box is a function, and this input box, it returns a string. Whatever it returns in that string goes and gets put in its name. So if we go show message is name, and if we run this, we click on this, and we can just go netsu, click on OK, and it will do whatever has been put inside of its name. So as you can see with that example, the input box, it returns something and it puts it inside of this variable, something that the show message cannot do. Now you might not understand completely yet, so let's actually go to creating one so I can show you how it works on the inside. Let's create a function that will work out the VAT and then return it to the person. So we can go function. Unlike with procedure, you have to say it's a function this time, not a procedure. Then the same, we can give it a name such as get VAT. And what we want to take in a value. We're going to make the value it takes in. To make it complex, we're going to go is cost, which is a string, and then it's going to have to return a specific type of value. This is where it differs a little bit from how you declare the procedure. So we're going to have to say it returns something, whether it's a integer, a string, a real, whatever. We're going to return a real, however. So it's going to take in a string and it's going to return a real. So Control, Shift, and C to create it, just like with a procedure. Now, what we want it to take in is we want it to take in whatever is inside of edt function. Now, of course, what we can do is we can actually say it in here like, hey, this variable becomes edt function. But we're going to do it up here. So we're not going to do that down here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go is cost, but we're going to go, before we do that, variable, and we're going to go our total, which is a real. Okay, So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go R total becomes string to string to float is cost. This will just convert whatever is here into a real value. So basically, this is as well also a function. If we go here, it returns a system.extended. Basically what that means, it just transforms isCost into a floating point value, into a real. So that's just all it does, but it's still a function because it returns something and you can put it inside of this. Just with the last one, if I'm going to go isName and I'm going to do this, we're going to get an error as soon as we run because incompatible types, string and procedure. But when we do it here, it's not going to give us an error because it is a function. And then R total becomes R total plus R total times 0.15. In fact, this would actually be better practice if we go R vat. Then R vat becomes R total times 0.15 because the VAT in South Africa is 15%. So then R VAT. Now this is basically the basic procedure to find out what the cost will be of this product or whatever you're buying with the VAT included. So you give the price without the VAT and it will work out what the VAT is and give you how much you have to pay when you include the VAT. Then result. Now result is just the keyword we use to say return. This, when you hover over it, it says returns. When we want to return something, we have to say result. And then you just say result becomes R total. And this example basically just says result now returns the real. If we're going to put a string in here, it's going to give us an error because we have to return a real. Where this is an integer or whatever, it has to return a real. So this result, as it says here, system.real. If we change this into a string, just as an example, and we hover over this, and we just go up here as well and say string, then we hover over this, it's going to say system.string, so now it's going to return a string. So just keep that in mind. So result is just return basically, and it returns whatever gets given to it. And in this case, we give it our total, this variable. Of course, you can put all of this in one line inside of our total. Sorry about that. In one line inside of result, I mean. The only thing is that if you do that, it's just going to be bad practice. It's always good practice to just try and make it a little bit longer to make it more understandable. Anyways, so now to call upon it, we can just take that out. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to create we're going to show message thing. We're going to give them a show message. And we can go format float. And since we work in rand, we will go 0.00. So here we just go get VAT, just like what you do with a procedure if you were to try and call upon it, like show message here. And then inside of this we go edt function.text. So as you can see, it takes in a string, which is isCost, and isCost will go inside of this. Then it converts it into a floating point value, which is known as a real. And then it works out the VAT and the total cost. And once it has that, it will return the total cost. And then it will do this whole thing and it will show you the message. So let's just see how it looks. So let's say we pay 100 rand. Press on click me, and then you have to pay 115 rand. Basic. 190 cents, and we'll increase a little now. And basically what I have done is I've just said do a procedure. We can put this inside a procedure, and after you've done that, get that value and do this. Now, just as a way, because I feel like I'm not explaining it perfectly, so I'm going to make a procedure to show you how to do this if you were to do it with procedure. Procedure get mu that, and it will also take in an s cost, which is a string, but we can't say it returns anything, so we cannot do that. So then Control Shift C, and if we were to do a procedure, we can actually then do this. We'll have to give it a private variable right here, so we can go R full total, which is a real. And then if we were to do it in a procedure, we can actually copy this and then we can just copy this up here, and then our vat here, which is a real. Okay, so basically we have done what we have done in here, but inside of this procedure. Now if we want to get the same result, what we have to do is we can just remove this. And if we want to get our full total, which is a real, the first thing we have to do is we have to call the procedure get mu vat, and then edt function.text. So basically, if we use a function, we can skip out this process of needing to call this procedure first, then doing this. So we just shorten our code. That's the basics of what this function does. We run it, we will get the same effect. Oh, that's why it wasn't running. Excuse me, I was still running it in background. Okay. So we've just commented out all of the functions and stuff just to not get any errors. So we have now the procedure, and it's going to do exactly the same thing as what that function does. It just has more steps. So if we go 100.00, okay, click me, we get 115. It does the same thing. You just have to add that extra step. So yeah, that's the basics of functions. Thank you all for watching. I hope you will understand a little bit more about functions. If you're still struggling to get the basics, there will be a link in the description to a video that teaches you more about functions and procedures. Thank you all for watching. See you all in the next video.